Incredible Edible Lambeth is a network of food growers in Lambeth, and it's led by local residents who come together to provide support for food growing in the borough. There are 550 individual members and 120 group members and group beneficiaries. So Incredible Edible Lambeth is working in this Open University project to identify the support measures we need. We've also worked with Arup, it's a big engineering company, to work out the framework that is needed for supporting food growing in the borough. And we're working with Lambeth Food Partnership now to try and support those measures by campaigning for Right to Grow, for Lambeth to adopt Right to Grow, and for campaigning for more joined up working.
At the beginning, we had a gardener who came and he was teaching us how to plant things and also how to grow things. And then one of the residents, Jacqui, became so passionate about it, and now she's basically teaching everyone else. She's even doing some workshops for kids to teach them how to grow vegetables.
Often, Incredible Edible will get involved when we have a particular event, and they'll send somebody along and who's very happy to show people what to do, i.e. with the bulbs, or taking a plant and how you put it in the ground and how deep. So, but mostly it's about just getting people along to watch what we're doing and then giving them the opportunity to do it themselves. I do this with the kids. I'll give them tomato plants and say, go and plant them. And then, they have learnt how to do that.
Before this initiative, I didn't know any of my neighbours, and now I've got friends. Older people get support when they live on their own and now have neighbours who come and help. Kids get really motivated to come outside and play and be with nature. We even had a young kid that won an award for being the best gardener of the year. So it just gets people together and teach them about nature and growing their own food and self-sufficiency.
These initiatives are really important for the community because it brings out people who live there who might be living normally in a bit of isolation, or again, coming from different social backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, religions, and so on. So it brings people together. It also is important for the safety of estates like this. There are bigger estates, and in the UK or in larger cities, neighbours don't necessarily connect with one another. We all live in isolation. And a project like this brings out everybody. You get to know your neighbours. The children are part of it. The parents of children get a sense of increased safety because we know each other, we help each other. Anyone outside of the estate would be spotted. So for anyone who's a bit vulnerable, or for younger children or teenagers, it adds a layer of safety by doing this.
Even if they're not coming out and gardening with us, they still are enjoying the fruits of that. I mean, obviously we have the children come and help, but what I find is when I'm out here and I'm gardening, I spend half my time talking to people who are saying that they love it, and they talk to each other about it. And when we do harvestings, we put stuff out for people to take, and they love that. Obviously we don't grow enough to feed loads and loads of people, but just one little box of tomatoes or a handful of beans or whatever is a wonderful thing. And hopefully, and I think they do, I think people talk to each other about it. It's about pride in your area.
Symbolizing our community garden in St. Martin's is the community. Young, old, children, people with disabilities, people with language barriers. They're all together. You should come and see them sometimes. They're just working like it is their own family members. They're all family members. So that symbolizes, to me, the community coming together and becoming stronger and healthier.
The first support we got was from Incredible Edible Lambeth. They applied for funding from the Mayor of London, and then I got in touch with them and we got some funding through them. After that, we put pressure on our housing association, who very kindly gave us financial support, but also they gave us gardening contractors to come and help. After that, we also applied for extra funding from Mayor of London and Council of Lambeth. So we got also a lot of support from that. So different sources, and Brockwell Live Community also is another group that gave us support, near neighbours, a lot of local community groups that give us funding to do these activities.
We have had support from the housing associations, and when we have an event, they have sent plants and compost, and that's been invaluable. And just knowing that they're very happy that we're doing this is amazing. We've had support from Incredible Edible, which is invaluable, and we're so grateful for that. We're lucky to have a Lambeth councillor who lives on our estate, and she's wonderful and she's very encouraging as well. And without that support, we could have done it, but we've done so much more. The housing associations have put water butts in for us. We had a very hot summer and water was an issue. So they've been very supportive in that way, and we hope that that will continue, because the more water sources we have, the better. It just makes it so much easier to garden.
But I'm on the panel of grant giving, so I got smaller grant to start with. It is a small grant, but it is helpful. With that coming in, we have applied to other bigger grants as well with that support.
It's knowing who to reach out to. It's knowing, the more communication we have, the better to be able to get the right kind of support and encouragement. If we had regular meetings, if we had regular phone calls, that would be invaluable. That would be so useful for us. And also to encourage other estates and other areas to also grow and look after their community.
Is that we're getting more and more aware that it's really about sort of structures within the council, so that there's bits of support here and there. There's somebody who can come out and help people build raised beds, and there's funding within the council. But often it's all in different silos, it's all broken up, and so it's very difficult for people to find their way through the system. Some people might be really brilliant within the council, and other people maybe not so brilliant. So, for example, sometimes in the past, I think some of the housing, the maintenance staff in housing estates might cut down some of the things that people are growing because they didn't realise that they're food and they're not just weeds. Yeah, and on other occasions it's taken a very long time to get funding. But so we're very keen that we try to work with the council to put in place a sort of an approach across different what they call departments, and maybe try and form a team so that we can and have a strategy or a plan so that the different parts of the council can work together, and then people outside can be very clear who to go to in the council and what kind of support they can get.
So I think from the council, really, it would be great if we could expand. It would be, and obviously, finance to provide plants and seeds and compost, especially. Training would be amazing. I'm sure there would be people on the estate, if it was offered, would love to gain training, maybe to grow their own food in their own gardens or on their balconies, but also to join in with us. That would be really, 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 really helpful. So going forward, I think with food prices and just being able to supply yourself with vegetables, and the fact that gardening is so good for you, so good for your mental health, fulfilling, that if we had more help, training, funding from anyone, that would be wonderful.
From the council, we need some more access to water. for instance, and it would be important to install water butts in several places, because there may be taps sprinkled across the estate, but not easily accessible. And carrying water is a big issue, especially in the summer, and thinking forward as summers are going to be longer, hotter, and so on. In order for our plants to thrive, we need more watering options. And it would make sense to use rainwater to do that. It's more ecologically friendly and so on.
We got a lot of support to start with. It would be great to have more continuity. So someone maybe in the council that comes and check up the garden and make sure we keep getting the support. So the continuity is very important. If we can keep getting training about food growing, materials when we need them. For example, we need more compost. We did get compost bins, so it's great if we can get help maintaining them. Continuity is a big thing for me, so it's very good to get the funds to start with, but just make sure that you keep supporting us.